David Walliams was once one of the most recognizable faces on British television, known for his sharp humor, bold characters, and friendly presence on popular shows like Britain's Got Talent. To understand how his public image later became so controversial, it is important to look back at where his journey began. David Edward Walliams was born on August 20th, 1971, in Merton, South London. He grew up in a typical middle-class British family. His father, Peter Walliams, worked as a transport engineer, while his mother, Kathleen Walliams, was a laboratory technician. There was nothing especially glamorous about his early life, and no signs that he would one day become one of Britain's most talked-about entertainers. His childhood was largely calm and stable, spent in the suburb of Banstead in Surrey, where he attended local schools and lived a fairly ordinary life. From a young age, however, David showed a strong interest in performing. He enjoyed making people laugh and often took part in school plays and drama activities. Teachers noticed his confidence on stage, and his family encouraged him to explore creative interests. This early support helped shape his love for acting and comedy. During his teenage years, he attended Reigate Grammar School, where he continued to develop his performance skills. At school, he became known for his ability to imitate people, exaggerate behaviors, and turn everyday situations into comedy. These early traits would later become key parts of his professional career. After finishing school, David decided to take his passion seriously. He went on to study drama at the University of Bristol, one of the UK's respected institutions for performing arts. University life gave him the freedom to experiment creatively and refine his comedic voice. During this time, he joined the National Youth Theatre, a major step that changed his future. It was there that he met Matt Lucas, another young performer with a similar sense of humor and creative ambition. The meeting of Walliams and Lucas would later prove to be one of the most important partnerships in modern British comedy. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Walliams and Lucas began working together on stage, especially at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. This festival is known for discovering new talent, and their performances quickly attracted attention. Their comedy was different from what audiences were used to. It was exaggerated, uncomfortable at times, and designed to push boundaries. While not everyone liked it, many people found it bold and refreshing. Television producers soon noticed their growing popularity. David Walliams' early television appearances were small but important. He appeared in shows such as MASH and Peas and Sir Bernard's Stately Homes, where he experimented with unusual characters and strange humor. These roles helped him gain confidence in front of the camera and understand how television comedy worked. His big breakthrough came in 2003 when he and Matt Lucas created Little Britain for the BBC. The show quickly became a massive success. Walliams played a wide range of characters, each more exaggerated than the last, and his fearless approach to comedy made him stand out. At the time, Little Britain was praised for its sharp satire and its ability to reflect parts of British society in an extreme way. The show became a cultural phenomenon, leading to international versions, live tours, and huge DVD sales. For David Walliams, this period marked the start of his rise to national fame. He was no longer just a comedian, he had become a household name. Few could have predicted that this same style of humor, which once brought him admiration and success, would later become the source of intense criticism and controversy. By the mid-2000s, David Walliams had firmly established himself as a leading figure in British comedy. The success of Little Britain had made him a household name, and his partnership with Matt Lucas continued to produce creative and bold work. They expanded their brand with projects like Little Britain Abroad and Little Britain USA, introducing their comedy to international audiences. Walliams' characters were known for their exaggeration, wit, and occasional shock value. While some critics questioned the morality or taste of the humor, audiences loved the energy and creativity he brought to every role. It was during this period that Walliams transitioned from being primarily a performer to a versatile entertainer and media personality, with opportunities ranging from acting to writing, live performances, and hosting appearances. In 2007, David Walliams took another significant step in his career by joining Britain's Got Talent as a judge. The show was already popular, led by Simon Cowell's sharp criticism and Amanda Holden's warm presence, but Walliams added a new dimension. He was known for his quick wit, playful banter, and genuine empathy for contestants. His style was often described as the heart of the show, providing balance to Cowell's stern authority. Audiences responded immediately. His presence brought humor and charm that made the show appealing to younger viewers, while still maintaining the attention of families and older fans. Walliams' rapport with contestants was one of his strongest assets. He often calmed nerves backstage and offered supportive, humorous feedback, which made him both relatable and entertaining. During his decade-long tenure on Britain's Got Talent, Walliams earned praise not only for his on-screen persona, but also for his influence on the show's overall tone. He was part of moments that became viral across social media, from playful interactions to lighthearted jokes with judges and contestants alike. Many of these moments helped boost viewership, and critics often credited him with softening some of the show's more intense moments. He became a familiar presence on talk shows and award ceremonies, winning the Best TV Judge award multiple times at the National Television Awards. Walliams' success during this period demonstrated his ability to connect with both live audiences and viewers at home, solidifying his position as one of Britain's most influential television figures. Walliams' popularity on Britain's Got Talent also allowed him to explore other creative avenues. Beyond television, he maintained his connection to literature, particularly children's books, where he continued to build a reputation for clever storytelling and imaginative plots. His books, such as The Boy in the Dress, Mr. Stink, and Gangsta Granny, combined humor with important life lessons, appealing to children and parents alike. The success of these books reinforced his image as a multifaceted entertainer capable of producing content for diverse audiences. It also helped him maintain a presence in the public eye beyond television, a strategy that would later prove crucial when his reputation faced challenges. However, even during the height of his fame, Walliams' humor was not without controversy. While most audiences enjoyed his bold comedic style, some critics and advocacy groups began questioning the nature of his characters and jokes. Certain sketches from Little Britain were already being reconsidered, with concerns that some humor relied on outdated stereotypes or exaggerated traits in a way that might now be viewed as insensitive. Despite this, the general perception of Walliams during this period was overwhelmingly positive, and he remained one of the most celebrated figures on British television. He was widely admired for his ability to combine outrageous humor with genuine warmth, particularly in his interactions with children and families on screen. Walliams' television career reached a high point during the 2010s. His role on Britain's Got Talent had made him an essential part of the British entertainment landscape. He was seen not only as a comedian, but as a personality who could influence the tone of a show and the public perception of contestants. Viewers often trusted his opinions, and his humor was seen as a signature element of the program. At the same time, Walliams' increasing fame allowed him to branch into new projects, such as live tours and public appearances, further reinforcing his status as a versatile entertainer. By combining creativity, charisma, and an ability to engage audiences of all ages, David Walliams had reached the pinnacle of his career. Yet, beneath the charm and laughter, the seeds of controversy were beginning to grow. Some elements of his humor, which had once been celebrated as daring and original, would later be reevaluated in light of changing social norms. While his public image was largely positive at this time, the very style that had brought him immense success also carried risks that would soon come to the forefront. What seemed like a period of unchallenged popularity would later become the turning point in a story marked by both acclaim and criticism. Despite his popularity and the widespread admiration he enjoyed as a judge on Britain's Got Talent, David Walliams' career faced its first major public challenge in late 2022. Reports began circulating about a leaked audio recording from behind the scenes of Britain's Got Talent, which allegedly captured Walliams making offensive and inappropriate remarks about contestants. The audio was reportedly recorded during filming in 2020 and had remained private until its leak. While Walliams had spent years cultivating a warm, humorous, and approachable public image, this recording appeared to show a very different side of him, one that seemed insensitive, derogatory, and at odds with the personality audiences had come to trust. The leak immediately drew the attention of national media, social media users, and television fans across the country. The public reaction was swift, with outrage spreading on multiple platforms almost instantly. In the recording, Walliams was said to have made crude jokes about contestants who had recently appeared on stage. Some of the remarks were reportedly directed toward an older female participant, while others had sexual undertones concerning younger or vulnerable contestants. The comments were not broadcast on television, and at the time of the recording, only a few backstage staff were aware of them. Once the material surfaced, it painted Walliams in a far harsher light than his carefully maintained public image. News outlets described the situation as a shocking revelation, emphasizing that the incident had the potential to damage a career that had been built over decades. Social media users quickly shared clips, quotes, and commentary, amplifying the scandal and raising questions about his judgment, professionalism, and morality. The leak also sparked intense debate among media commentators. Many asked how a comedian known for creating bold and exaggerated characters could be judged differently for remarks made in private. Others argued that public figures, especially those with influence over children and families, had a heightened responsibility to behave professionally at all times. The public scrutiny was not limited to Walliams himself. It extended to the producers and the show's management, who faced criticism for allegedly failing to maintain oversight of workplace behavior. In response to the media storm, Walliams issued a public apology through his representatives. He described the remarks as private conversations between colleagues after filming hours and stated that he had no intention of offending anyone. However, this explanation did not satisfy many viewers who felt that the words themselves went beyond casual jokes and reflected deeper issues of insensitivity. Within a few days, the scandal escalated into a full-blown media controversy. Newspapers, online publications, and television commentators debated the ethical implications of the leaked remarks. Some articles framed it as a cautionary tale about how even minor private mistakes can have major professional consequences, while others focused on the broader issue of workplace culture in entertainment industries. The leak also prompted discussions about the double standards in comedy, especially when humor crosses into topics of race, age, gender, or sexuality. While Walliams' previous work had occasionally been criticized for edgy or provocative content, the public now examined whether those same tendencies had carried into his off-camera behavior. The immediate fallout was significant. ITV and other networks responded quickly by announcing that Walliams would not return as a judge for the following season of Britain's Got Talent. His decade-long association with the show, which had once seemed unshakable, was effectively over. Industry insiders reported that the decision was made not only because of public outrage, but also due to concerns about brand safety, sponsorship deals, and ongoing viewer trust. Several commercial partnerships and promotional opportunities were reportedly suspended or canceled. The financial impact on Walliams was substantial, with earnings from television contracts and endorsements dropping sharply. Media reports suggested that the combination of lost income, damaged reputation, and social media backlash created a perfect storm that marked a sudden, dramatic shift in his public career. This incident also reshaped Walliams' relationships within the entertainment industry. Reports surfaced that his rapport with Simon Cowell, once considered a close professional partnership, had deteriorated. Cowell did not publicly defend Walliams, leading to speculation about tension between the two former colleagues. The incident became a case study in how quickly a celebrity's image can change when private behavior becomes public. For Walliams, it marked the start of a long and difficult period of reflection, public criticism, and legal action, which would continue for years. It also highlighted the challenges faced by public figures in a media environment where recordings, social media posts, and minor errors can dramatically influence public perception. In summary, the leaked audio represented a turning point in David Walliams' career. While he had once been celebrated for his humor, empathy, and charm, this recording revealed behavior that undermined his carefully cultivated image. The public shock, media scrutiny, and industry repercussions signaled the beginning of a professional and personal reevaluation. From this moment onward, Walliams would no longer be viewed solely as a beloved entertainer. He became a figure of controversy, and the next chapters of his career would be shaped by both his attempts to respond to criticism and the public's reassessment of his past work. Even before the leaked audio scandal, David Walliams' comedy had occasionally attracted criticism for pushing boundaries in ways that were sometimes uncomfortable for modern audiences. His work on Little Britain, the show that made him a household name, was celebrated for its bold, outrageous humor, but it also relied heavily on exaggerated stereotypes and caricatures. Walliams often portrayed characters from different ethnic backgrounds, genders, and social classes, amplifying traits to an extreme degree. While this approach was intended to satirize society and entertain, it increasingly drew attention for being culturally insensitive. Characters such as Ting Tong, a Thai woman portrayed with broken English and exaggerated features, and Desiree Devere, a black woman played in blackface, became flashpoints for discussion about racial representation and comedy in media. Similarly, Emily Howard, a male character dressing as a woman, drew criticism from LGBTQ+ advocates for reinforcing outdated stereotypes. These portrayals, once accepted or ignored by audiences, were now being scrutinized through a modern lens that prioritized cultural sensitivity and social awareness. By the late 2010s and early 2020s, social attitudes toward comedy had evolved significantly. What had once been considered daring or edgy humor was now often seen as offensive or harmful. Clips from Little Britain resurfaced on social media, prompting renewed debate about the appropriateness of Walliams' past work. Critics argued that while the show had been innovative in its humor and character creation, it also reflected societal blind spots regarding race, gender, and ability. Many viewers, especially younger generations and international audiences, found some of the jokes outdated and insensitive. Parents and educators voiced concerns that such portrayals, if consumed by children, could reinforce harmful stereotypes. For David Walliams, the very series that had catapulted him to fame now represented a source of scrutiny and potential reputational risk. The controversies were not limited to television characters. Walliams' live performances occasionally included provocative material that blurred the line between adult humor and content suitable for younger audiences. One example cited in media coverage involved performances where he played exaggerated, sometimes sexualized characters interacting with audience members. Critics noted that some performances included teenagers in the audience, raising questions about the suitability of the content and the responsibility of performers toward young viewers. While supporters argued that live comedy allows for artistic freedom and exaggeration, detractors emphasized that public figures have a responsibility to avoid content that could be seen as exploitative or inappropriate. This tension between creative expression and social responsibility became a recurring theme in discussions of Walliams' career. In addition, other public incidents further complicated Walliams' image. In 2017, he appeared in Halloween costumes, including one portraying North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, which included exaggerated Asian features. This drew accusations of yellowface and insensitivity to racial issues. Walliams' response, including posting a humorous meme suggesting the character approved of his portrayal, was widely criticized for appearing dismissive of the concerns raised by affected communities. Similarly, remarks made on live television, such as joking about young celebrities or making comments with sexual undertones, attracted criticism from viewers and advocacy groups who highlighted the potential harm of normalizing such humor. These incidents reinforced a growing perception that Walliams' comedy, while once celebrated for its boldness, was increasingly out of step with societal expectations. The combination of past controversies and the leaked audio scandal in 2022 created a perfect storm. Audiences were no longer willing to separate Walliams' professional talent from the perceived harm caused by some of his jokes and actions. Media coverage highlighted the contrast between his earlier achievements and the criticisms he faced in the contemporary context. News outlets, cultural commentators, and social media users examined his body of work, identifying recurring patterns of humor that relied on exaggeration and offense. This reassessment contributed to a shift in public perception, where Walliams' legacy was no longer viewed purely through the lens of entertainment success, but also through the lens of social responsibility and evolving cultural norms. Importantly, the reevaluation of Walliams' work reflects broader societal trends. Comedy, once considered a domain for unrestrained exaggeration and satire, has increasingly been examined for its potential impact on marginalized groups. Walliams' experiences illustrate the challenges faced by entertainers whose earlier work was groundbreaking at the time, but now faces scrutiny under changing social standards. As a result, his past performances and characters became a focal point for discussions about ethics in comedy, the evolution of cultural sensitivity, and the responsibilities of public figures. These conversations, while critical, also positioned Walliams at the center of a larger cultural debate about the boundaries of humor and the balance between artistic freedom and social awareness. By the time the leaked audio incident became public, these controversies had already softened the public's tolerance for edgy humor. What had once been accepted as part of Walliams' comedic persona was now being interpreted as evidence of insensitivity or even harmful behavior. This context amplified the impact of the 2022 scandal, creating an environment in which both his past and present actions were evaluated together. As a result, Walliams faced a dual challenge: addressing the immediate consequences of the leaked audio while also navigating the long-term repercussions of a career built on humor that no longer aligned with current societal expectations. While David Walliams' television career faced intense scrutiny, his work as a children's author also came under the microscope. Beginning in 2008 with The Boy in the Dress, Walliams quickly established himself as one of Britain's most successful and best-selling children's authors. Over the following decade and a half, he published more than 30 books, including popular titles like Mr. Stink, Gangsta Granny, Billionaire Boy, and Awful Auntie. His stories were praised for their humor, engaging plots, and appealed to young readers, many of whom found reading his books exciting and entertaining. Parents appreciated his ability to make literature accessible and fun, and schools often recommended his work to encourage children to read. By 2025, Walliams had sold over 45 million copies worldwide, with translations in dozens of languages. His books were adapted into stage performances and television films, cementing his reputation as a multifaceted creator with influence in both literature and entertainment. Despite the popularity of his books, criticism emerged regarding certain recurring patterns in his storytelling. Some characters were depicted with exaggerated traits that could reinforce negative stereotypes. One of the most widely discussed controversies